Hey, everybody! It's me, Mr. Fancy Pants. I am so glad to see you here for, God, what is this, our third live stream? I think so. Yeah, this is great. So, welcome you all to our thing that we do every couple of months. This is the best, and we're so glad to see you. I'm here with my two best friends. Well, not really, but I like you guys. Trinatus and Falco Punch.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't already familiar with us, I am the producer of Project Stamina, and Falco is our art director, and Trinatus is a co-design lead for game design and our general manager, because it's basically his job to keep us all sane, and he does pretty well at it. So, sane enough. If we were too sane, we'd stop, but this is too much fun. So, anyway, we have a huge pile of questions from all of you, and I'm going to kick it off by answering one of the questions that we have from our poll that we sent out. And it was, how many characters have you made that we haven't seen yet? Well, you haven't seen, to some extent, one of the characters that we're about to show. And we also have two more that we haven't fully revealed kits and art for. So some of that is coming up in the stream. But first, I want to kick it off with some really great new stuff that we've got about the character that we debuted in our last stream. This is all starting to blur together already. Fan. We have great stuff about Fan. Let's check it out.
Switch to live desktop and actually, yeah, your face goes away on this. Alright, so you want to start off at the beginning and go all the way through to the end, right? Boom. Yeah, everything up. So, boom. Well, I didn't want it to do that. Oh, whoops. Wow.
How are we doing?
I guess
Somebody else says they can hear?
That was weird. I guess a lot of the stuff in live desktop got destroyed, so... Here, let me turn display capture. Just keep talking.
All right. So we're going to sort this out. We're going to go back to checking out more cool fan stuff in a minute while Trin messes with our video settings. I'm going to keep going through these awesome Q&A. So we're getting a lot of questions that we've talked about before, but can people still hear me?
Yes.
Great. We're getting a lot of questions that we've covered before. But I think that there's some really great questions, so we're going to go through some of them again, because obviously if people are asking, then the information still needs to get out there. So one of the big questions that we get a lot, and I just frankly love answering, is how do you plan to give the game an identity and make it different from Gigantic? Besides the obvious differences like characters and maps, do we plan to have any unique mechanics? Yes. So one of the things that we're doing that is already present in the game is an introductory level game mode that doesn't cover It's designed for faster gameplay. So you go through the match in like 5 to 8 minutes instead of 20 to 30, and you get a little bit. You get to play with different heroes and different builds and learn some of the fundamental mechanics of the game without committing such a time investment. So it's great for like if you ever want to sit down and play for 10-15 minutes, we've got a game mode for you. If you have something that you really that would help you, because we're trying to make the game more approachable than Gigantic was in its final form, but there's still a lot of mechanics that you have to learn to get the hang of everything that's going on. And this game mode is going to be a big part of getting new players through the door and playing again and catching on to all the stuff that makes this game fun and interesting. So that's a big thing that we're doing differently. And another one that I'm really fond of is we are not doing a battle royale. We are doing we're doing a universal augment system that our placeholder name for it right now is Runes. It ties into our world lore and our world's magic system, so we can talk a little bit more about that. But it also ties into the name, which is still under copyright or
What? Nothing should happen. Everything should be good. Or did Fancy freeze? Oh, Fancy froze.
Oh no!
Yes, F's in the chat, guys. F's in the chat.
Oh my god.
Here, I'll just disappear the frozen face for now. Well,
It's like he was
Falco, do you
never
have
there.
the question in front of you? I guess.
No. I don't.
Oh,
Say
okay.
It's not a battle royale. We're not doing that. That's for sure.
Yeah, he was a no one
Fancy
can hear
lived
Fancy.
a long life. We will forever remember him. Oh, no.
There we go.
Are you back?
He's trying.
Oh my god.
We almost got him back, guys.
Hi. Oh boy. Okay, you left again. Okay, wait. Are you back?
Here, well, we can go through the fan stuff while he's working out his own technical difficulties.
All right.
So I'll
Alright.
turn that on right now, and Falco, you can go through it. Do you want me to switch to the next image, or we still good on
I'll
this
just
one?
talk a little bit about these. So these were made by Kezi, one of our awesome concept artists, and he worked really hard on making like movement sheets for Fan, kind of figuring out point of view, area field, what her different attacks would look like. Some of them work really well. Some are a little like wish list stuff. But Fan is kind of our support hero, and so her moves have to look like she's kind of like an airbender, which is how I see her anyway. So a lot of like looking at monks and things like that. Avatar.
I mean, look at that spinning. For some reason, I guess we'll go to
Oh
the actual
man.
size. See if I can't get the top to work. There we go.
We still can't hear you, Fancy, if you're talking.
Yeah. But as you know, she goes through a set of skills. So each ability that gets along the line for 4. There's 4 different things: first swing, second swing, third swing, and fourth swing. And each of them has a cleave leading up to a 360 cleave, and you can keep that going.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool, like to see it finally animated in the game and spinning around, air like being sliced around her. It's gonna be cool. Fancy, no.
Do we know her passive? D-Bag64, that basically is her passive. Basically, she each stage that she gets to in her dance makes her Q and her E stronger.
What's this?
Yeah, you missed Fancy's
this-
Fancy dying. Emergency call. Why am I getting emergency call? Oh. 1 second.
Discord bug ever. Like, our call died on my end, and I couldn't reconnect to it, but I can make a new call, so if I'm back, then everything is fine.
Alright, so
Yay!
jump into your webcam and we're good.
Oh, great, on it. Hey, I'm back! Thanks everyone for your patience. Discord did a thing.
It did do a thing, and let me get your face back. Alright, there we go. We'll go on to the next image.
Don't leave
Okay,
us-
yeah, so we're moving through it. Cool.
If it'll let me.
Want to tell them what her E does, Trin?
Oh,
Oh,
yep.
were they asking? Go ahead.
Yes, really quickly.
yeah. So, for the record, this is Tren's kit that he designed, and then we worked with Goken, who many of you might remember from, like, Top Tier Gigantic. He is our other gameplay design lead. So we worked with him to refine the kit and make it really awesome. And I'm going to stop interrupting. Tren, take it away.
Alright, so basically her E is an AoE heal around her. Like, as you can tell inside the image, it is a bubble. So anyone within the range that she has will get healed, and the heal is stronger based on what stage of her dance she's at. And once you actually use like your Q and E, the stages goes back down to 0, and you gotta get your stages back up.
Gotta re-E.
Wait. Hey.
Just like her Q right here, which is a slow / speed boost that shoots out in front of her and hits the players, and boom, they go faster.
Yep. And it's also a slow against enemies, right?
Yes, slows enemies and speeds up allies. So,
Yeah.
like, her R&B jumps on top of people. She can jump on top of someone. She can throw her heal out. She can jump on top of someone inside of a team fight, throw her speed boost / slow out. And just all in all, be a nuisance with her passive, making the cleave much bigger and going on from there.
Yep. So, that's Fanimations.
Fanimations.
You want to quickly look at the next one? Because it's
Yeah.
There we
similar.
go.
So this was one of the pages that we worked on as we were approaching Fan's final design. We make sure that we have a good understanding of the character's like overall like feeling, and a big part of that is through their expressions, because an important part of understanding a character is understanding how they emote, how they react to situations. And so this is like one of the many steps that goes into designing a character.
And you guys have probably seen like some of this art. I don't think you've seen all the movement stuff, but I think we showed this one last time. But we wanted to go through it a little bit because we got something special for you,
Yeah.
Fan.
So yeah, right now we're just kind of walking you guys through our character design process, because I don't know, a lot of people like to see how stuff gets made,
This one?
and yeah.
Oh, some more of her
Some
skill sheet.
Oh, more animations. This is like jump attack and jump attack and like dash attack or dodge attack, I think.
It looks like jump attack. Yeah. it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 different jump attacks.
Oh yeah. This is just like different options.
So
Yeah.
beautiful. Look
I
at
know.
how fluid that is. Jack, her kit was inspired purely on a lack of dancers being inside. One, a melee healer, and 2, a lack of dancers. Like playing a healer, you don't really get to get up there in their face and be a nuisance and heal your team. You're always sitting behind. You're not doing anything. You're just kind of not having fun. And with
Maybe
Fan,
the way you're playing them.
well, I mean, hey. And with Fan, you can get right up in their face. You can be a part of the action and just be able to do something instead of just being a dead weight in the back, which I'm good at, I guess. Alright, you want me to switch to the next one?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
What have we got? I'm a little
Turnaround.
delayed. Oh yeah, so this was the like turnaround character design breakdown that so once we have the final render, which you saw as the first image, we do like, and we're happy with it, we do a breakdown of how every piece of the character is designed so that it can be handed off to our 3D modeling team, Pat.
Our one-man team.
Yeah, oh, he's such a badass though. For final render, for like final modeling design. So like this is like the last piece of the puzzle before it gets handed off to the 3D team, basically.
Yeah, so like showing how all her clothes are broken down to make sure like outfits actually work, and
Yeah.
you know, like yeah, there's so much fine detail in like all of this. You can just see, oh my god, our concept artist even included like a little patch on her pants on the very most left, if you saw that. So even if you won't see that, it's like really fun to see.
So cute.
It's like kind of awesome.
Ah, I didn't know about that.
I know, right?
Apparently she likes ducks.
Lot of
Oh, man.
detail.
Yeah, there's so much cool detail. Like you can see there's like a scale pattern on the inside of her I don't even know what it's called.
Shawl, right?
Shawl. Shawl.
Capelet?
Capelet. Ooh. Oh man, I'm excited. Oh. It's fun to like share this stuff with you guys, like see how much work goes into every character. But the artists have a lot of fun, so.
We're probably not going to work on. I know you're all like cute skins, but we're probably not going to be working on making multiple skins for characters until beta. Like we'll probably do recolors because those are pretty easy, but for as long as we're trying to churn out new characters as fast as possible, we're going to be focusing on that over new skins. But we'll keep an adorable duck fan skin in mind.
Yeah. Recolors would be so easy. Like, it's
Let's see,
yeah.
what's it?
We'll get there.
Oh,
All
I
right.
guess I have a.
So
that was in twice.
What
oh,
are you-
wait, the
so-
silhouette.
What
There
are
we go.
There we go. Okay,
no,
so
I guess
Yeah.
we had two of one image in there.
oh.
okay.
Oops. This is like our early like silhouette model of Fan, because we might be building up to showing you something here. I don't know. Just say.
So remember that that
Oh, yep. There you go.
turnaround, like broken down design that we saw? It turned into this.
Like it's just behind.
That's
Does this
weird.
is this the
I
rotating
feel like
video?
it should be a movie. They're movies.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, it is.
And
There
You
we
this.
go.
fail. You fail.
Hey,
Oh,
if I
you-
could
play.
hit the play button, guys.
oh my god.
There we go. So
Actually missed the bottom part of her hair in this one. Just ignore it.
Oh, she is. She's growing it back.
But this was like part of the process. Like you can see like the
Yeah.
early like high poly version of Fan.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
here is like her finished model. The textures aren't 100% finished, but we wanted to show you guys. Pat's amazing at like matching concept art 100%. Like
Yup.
something that we are gonna make sure we do with every character.
Oh, her fans are so awesome. Look at that,
Yeah, it
guys.
looks really good.
There's
Look at that.
no way you're missing her silhouette with those fans.
You can even see the scales in her
Yeah.
capelet thing.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Oh man, so cool. It's so cool to see this. Ah!
yeah,
Oh, I can't zoom in on these ones. Alright, and then is that the last one? Or...
that should be the last piece of fan that we have.
Mm-hmm. There's
Oh, we
like
got this.
oh,
There's
Oh,
actually a picture
and-
you guys haven't seen.
Yeah.
yeah,
We've gotten to the point where our artists like our characters so much that they just draw them for fun, which is really, really kind of inspiring.
I know, right? Yeah, it's like, oh, I just felt like drawing this today. Like, here's her just like relaxing. So
Yep.
cool.
The file name is Fan Ozma, so that might be something. Alright, so do you want me to move on to the next thing?
Okay, so I stopped halfway through answering a question, so I'm going to finish that.
Okay.
The question was, do you plan to have any unique mechanics? We are adding a... we have announced that we are doing the level up system differently than Gigantic's release was, which is something that we can get into later if people are super stoked on it. But there is conversation about that back somewhere. And we are also building a universal mechanic system that gives you the choice of an ability at the beginning of, during character selection, that lets you either compensate for a character's weaknesses or like really hone in on a character's strengths to give more different character designs viability in a meta through a series of like universal options that everyone has. They'll function probably in a similar vein to, not probably, they do function in a similar vein to summoner spells in League of Legends, which I think is one of the more interesting aspects of that game's design personally. I wish that it wasn't all like every character needs flash to be viable, but I like the idea, and so we're doing something similar. So that's a thing that we're doing to be different than Gigantic. Am I muted again?
No.
No,
Oh, okay.
We actually have one of our community members have a birthday stream today for this.
Oh, wait, whose birthday is it? Mr. Ricks? Happy birthday! I am going to post a video to chat that I post for everyone's birthday. So,
do we want to move on to the big boy? Big purple boy?
Oh, big purple boy.
Big purple boy.
Big purple boy. No, let's move on to the character that we've been like. We'll do Geist after what's next. Mr. Ricks, this is for you. So we will move on to Geist after the part that I'm really excited about, which is...
Oh, actually, yeah, we were supposed to see this, but gonna have to pause it. They actually missed something. It didn't show up in the other video thing. So, boom, right there. We'll get rid of him. And
Rude.
What are we doing? Oh, what?
Awesome video that Jacob worked on.
Oh, yeah. So
and
this is
Joe
like
voice.
just some great stuff.
It's so cool. Yeah. Like 2.5D, kind of. Oh man, it's so cool to see her like looking around. I love it.
Yeah. I find this image very relaxing.
Yeah, she is very relaxing.
Except when she kills you in the battlefield, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's way more dynamic than this. Anyway.
Video.
Will this animation be used in game? We might, if this like moving splash art thing becomes something that we do for every character. We could put them in at like character lore screens or character description screens, like some places instead of a character model, maybe.
Yeah.
But I also like having these as I plan on using that for like future live streams as our wait screen instead of just the Project Stamina floaty background. I haven't actually like loaded up the League client in like 6 years, so I can't relate to that, Light Dasher. But maybe exactly like that. Anyway, we're just like enjoying making a ton of fun content because we're all like artists and engineers, and this is becoming the most fun thing to actually work on. Yeah, so do you guys want to do Geist first? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, let's do that. There's like a little bit for him right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everyone would like some Geist in their life. I mean, who doesn't want some big purple boy? And
Okay, so
we'll turn this back on. So, as everyone knows, there we are.
this is Geist,
Yeah.
our next character in development.
He's
he
a really
is
cool character.
he is the first revealed member of the Melanarch faction, which is the second of 3 factions in our game's lore.
He has a minion.
Yeah, he has a minion. That minion is kind of an idiot that Geist sends out to do his bidding.
So the artist that's doing this, his name is Kezi.
Same one.
He's
as Fan.
amazing. Yeah, he's like our lead concept artist.
Alright, so we'll go on to his minion, I guess.
Yep. So
Oh my god.
It's so beautiful, guys. It's so beautiful.
with Geist, yeah. So Geist is a fairly expressionless character. That mask doesn't move. So his minion is going to do a lot of the emoting for him, which I think will help like keep the lighthearted feel of the game overall without while letting a very serious character still be serious in their own personality.
Yeah, I think it's great because there's a point where Kezi did like Geist's face and then his minion's face, and Geist just had the same expression for every emotion, but his minion
Yeah.
do different things.
Yeah, so Geist sends his minion off to die. Geist's history is that he is the spirit of a long dead general, animated inside that suit of chains and armor, and his minion is one of his soldiers that he sends out to die over and over and over again.
These are beautiful.
It's how a lot of his abilities actually work. Like
Yep.
with his minion, because he can kind of like teleport to his minion and things like that.
We have just gotten started, Kitty Bob.
Yeah, I don't know, it's really cool to see like expressions from a guy wearing a mask with just eyes, basically.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, so the question, is he like Ashlyn? The idea was to have something that played very similar to Ashlyn, but in reverse. So imagine that you are Sir Kador, and your idiot child is running around like swinging a weapon wildly, and you have to constantly pop around to save their butt. But instead of when your summon dies, you are stunned and you lose you lose the ability to do anything for a chunk of time. Geist has a special resource called Anguish that charges up when he does damage, and also when his minion dies. And Anguish makes all of his other abilities more powerful. So there's this interesting balance of like, do you let the minion keep wailing on you, or do you kill it and risk Geist getting a sudden power spike?
Our version
will
of support
the
tank.
AI
Yeah.
give us any trouble?
Uh,
It's one of the questions
So-
that we got.
one of the things that we decided with Geist is that we would use the development of his minion as kind of the basis for our like NPC AI. And the idea is that Geist's like, we're building Geist around his minion being an idiot. Like that is Geist's game plan. And then as our AI gets better, if we decide that we want to improve the minion AI, and you will always have the ability to like sacrifice the minion. So it is E that teleports, right?
Yeah, I have them
We've
on
moved
the
a couple
screen
of
right now.
abilities around. Yeah, so you can teleport to your minion and make him explode and get Anguish for him dying that way. So you can always like consume that resource. So him being an idiot will not be much of a problem. He is designed for his minion to be an idiot. And then as our AI gets smarter, if we want to make the minion smarter, we can like retroactively balance Geist's kit around his minion, being intelligent. But the
Yeah.
idea is that we can have idiot AI and have it work. So we can just start putting it right into the game. Yeah, so his E teleports to his minion, and oh no. The same thing that summons the minion teleports to the minion. I will go into detail on NPCs in a minute. His E does a shield that shields all nearby allied units, including his minion. But but it's like a total amount that it shields spread across all of them.
Yeah.
So, like, if it's just one ally nearby, they get a big shield, and if it's 5 allies, they all get a little shield. Can I go into detail on NPCs? So I'm talking specifically about Geist's minion right now. We're doing very simple summons on our control points to begin with. They're stationary, and they just have like a random target attack and then like a specific target attack. And we can again build on those functions as our AI system gets more robust, and that will open up new designs to us. Are there any other questions about this animation kit? Do we have anything more for Geist right now?
Right here. This one.
Yeah.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
second animation sheet.
Yeah, like our idea for him was like a spooky ghost that just like pops up and is in your face, like a tank that kind of like has freedom of mobility and can like has to play near his team to really get the full effects. So it's like it's kind of a fun idea. I don't know. I really like him.
Yeah. Good catch there, Turtle Duck Man. Geist has a beam, so it is a range. Keji, the brilliant artist that he is, joined us after the end of Gigantic and never played the game. So when we told him characters need jump attacks, he took it literally. And now we have this sweet-looking animation that probably won't make it into the game because ranged characters don't have unique jump attacks.
But it looks cool.
But it looks really neat. Yeah, so these are like some of his movements. I don't know if like I like the idea of his dodge also like phasing him out for a second, so he's really like poppy and hard to track, but that might be absurd. It reminds me of Slayer from Guilty Gear, if anyone's that much of a nerd, which I thought was a really fun dynamic. So I think that would be really cool. But yeah, he was designed to be a like in your face. Oh my god, we've been at this for 40 minutes and we still have so much content. Let's keep moving. Okay. I have to leave in like 45-ish minutes tops to go pick up my wife at work. So we got to keep this stream going.
Okay. So
what else do we have for Geist?
That's all.
That's it for Geist.
Okay, that's it for Geist. Cool.
We'll show more next time when we have
moving
his character
on
model.
Yeah, let's move on to the next character because this one is quite a story.
Next character.
Character. Oh, character.
Mhm.
People want to see my face.
All right.
So, last October, we announced our second character, Quick Draw. Soon after her announcement, we revealed her kit to our patrons, which took a long time to get out for reasons I'm about to explain. That kit was a short-range, kind of widespread pistol, a weapon switch to a longer-range, higher accuracy, but not scoped rifle, a bundle of dynamite that was on a timer before it blew up that you could shoot to blow up early, and a super jump mechanic that was designed so that you could throw the dynamite at it and it would scatter.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, I think 3 days before we were going to reveal her final kit, Blizzard announced Ashe in Overwatch, which was a character with a short range, high spread, like pistol shotgun type attack, and then a weapon switch to a long range, lower spread, still not scoped weapon. a bundle of dynamite, and and a like aerial movement option that kind of replicated a super jump.
It was kind of insane how similar it was.
It
Like, it
was
just came out of nowhere, and it was like, hey, we're using your idea.
oh, and also our ult was a fixed turret with like projectile reflection functions, and Ash's ult was a mobile turret that absorbed damage, and we're just like, this
So ridiculous.
yeah. So we remembered what happened with like Bastion and HK, and even though HK was revealed first, everyone said that Gigantic was ripping off Blizzard because they were familiar with Blizzard first. And I checked with some of the people from with some of our friends that worked on Gigantic, and the advice that we received was, if you have the opportunity to change the kit, change the kit, because nobody actually cares what came out first. Just matters what got seen. So it was like, it happened with 3 days before the reveal, and we just like, we had to scrap this character that we had invested a bunch of like creative energy into, and
Keep scrolling, Trin.
Keep scrolling.
It was like surprisingly like emotionally traumatic to suddenly have this design that we had been working on kind of ripped out from us. So we had and the character was like pretty Western themed, which we also then so we had like a bunch of Western themed designs going on.
Yeah.
and we just couldn't use any of it. So we scrapped the designs and tried to take the character in a whole new direction. And it took us a while to land on a new kit that we actually liked. Well, a new design that we actually liked. We've got a kit that is functioning for placeholder purposes, but we're like, with the design changes, we're looking at how we can update some of her kit in the alpha, but we're not. Oh, yep, here she is with dynamite.
Yeah, by the way, guys, this is going through the stages of how she was created.
Yeah. So this is like
much. Oh,
from the original sketches to where we are now. So we used some of these sketches in the like reveal teaser, which is
nice.
it's a like piece of communication between Mel and ARC operatives about this crazy new Axion field agent that has showed up and fucked up some shit. Oh god, I hope I can still broadcast this later.
Oh no, banned.
Messed up some stuff. Yeah, let's keep rolling. We
there's just so much iteration.
Yeah, we messed around with some different designs. We wanted to like really step away from the cowboy theme because it was dead to us.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of like just random cutesy sketches. It took us a long time to find it. So it's like fairly easy to. This is our technical difficulties, by the way. Yeah, it took us a while to find a new design that we liked. We've discovered that it's a lot easier to make a new design than it is to rehash a design that already existed. So we went in kind of a space pirate direction, and this is like where the designs really started to take form. And like once we had landed on some outfits that we really liked, we started messing around with her tech.
Which is a whole thing we had to figure out too.
Yeah.
Like, that made sense in the world. So
yeah,
challenge.
It's beautiful. It's really
some
beautiful.
cool gun concepts.
Yep.
How they worked and stuff. Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's a nice expression sheet.
Oh yeah. So here's the expression sheet, like the one we had for Fan. As you can see, Quick Draw is a little bit more. What's the word? Spazzy.
Spazzy.
Where's the blushing? Out? Do we have a blushing one? Actually,
I
does
guess the
Quick Draw
top
even
right
blush?
kind of. She's kind of like embarrassed, happy. I don't know. Top right. Little creature. She's cute. this is like some exploration of like how her gun works.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the gun at all? And like how our ideas for it?
So like lore wise or
Could
like
even be
gameplay wise.
kit-wise. Yeah, it can even be
Okay,
gameplay-wise.
so she does have a weapon switch. I think that having a weapon switch shooter is an important like touchstone for people coming in from other shooter genres. It's just a very familiar mechanic that a lot of people can settle into right away. It's like, oh, I have this gun and then I have this gun, and that explains so much about what my character does. So the way that we have this designed is she has like she has a like robot arm that is some ancient magical technology that she has managed to salvage and restore. And then she has a pistol that is like made out of multiple pieces of like ancient artifacts that she has scrapped together. And she uses basically she uses like magical technology to power her guns in a world that guns are pretty wild and amazing.
You want me to switch to the next one?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Colors.
So
Yeah,
here's
so
kind of like more final.
this is where we started doing color tests for the character. Let's keep rolling.
Keep going. Fantasy doesn't have much time.
More color tests. And do we have? I'm not sure we have it in the Dropbox, but we do have the final render.
I sent it to Tren, so
Yeah, give me a second. I'll pull it up. I just need to.
So final line art.
There we go.
And
hell yeah.
woo!
We're like so happy. It's like so worth it to go back to the drawing board and kind of like work on her more because the design came so far. It's like, and so much of the game is like fleshed out with it. Like we now kind of have more of an understanding of how technology works.
Yeah, no, I wooed sarcastically because we've got the Project Stamina background back up.
Oh, there it is.
There she is. And this is Quick Draw. She like has explosives that she throws and she draws little faces on them because she's a weirdo.
She's an amazing weirdo, an eccentric weirdo, and I love her.
Yep.
I'm excited. Expect to see her model next time.
Yeah. So she's up next in the modeling process. And
So on to Infinity and Beyond.
You're right. I should voice her. I'm just as much of a jerk as her. So
All right, let's do it.
yeah. So we have one of the things that we teased in our little promo image for this stream was a new map. And here we have some new map stuff.
yeah.
This is our map is codename Infinity. It is a floating island.
With Mediterranean themes, obviously.
Yeah, with like some Mediterranean city themes.
The idea is that like the center of the city has this like giant dome over it, kind of, and there's like a big tree coming out of it.
Yep.
The tree is beautiful. I mean, look at that. Look at that.
It's cooler than Sky City.
So this is what the whole island looks like.
Yeah, just breathe that in for a second. Just breathe that in.
Breathe in.
Let's just like take a moment to reflect on how beautiful this is.
The idea of the city was like the prompt was kind of like there's different parts of the city. So there's like industrial, there's port, there's a like marketplace. So each part of this map has different kind of aesthetics to it.
Mm-hmm. And the idea with our general design is that we make our maps in such a way that we can use the assets to make multiple maps in the same areas, so that it doesn't take us so long to produce individual, like the team deathmatch map versus the main game mode map. So basically, this is beautiful, and we're going to get a lot of mileage out of everything that we put into it, is what I'm trying to say, and I'm really excited for that. Do you have some of the process pieces that Keji used to put these sketches together?
No. The closest one would be a quick glimpse of the design phase of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the way that this worked was the map is in gray boxing right now. Oh, which you can see down there on the left. And Keji took a bunch of screenshots from the map and then drew environments to match them, which is the general process for this design, which is how we got here. So
Yeah, there'll definitely be like
guess
names for areas on the map and stuff. Like they all have like their sections, so they'll definitely be named on the map.
Can anyone guess the feel of this area? Will that pig be in the game?
I know, it's a map. I got it.
I can't wait to step on the pig. Everyone wants to step on that poor pig.
Oh man, if that pig was something that like gave you an automatic super jump when you jumped on it, that would be hilarious. Bouncy pig.
There we go.
We have no plans at this time to ride the pig.
Sadly.
So there is a port section of the map, right? So of course, what goes there but airships, and how do you get to the island but air? So there's a bunch of designs Kezi did. Here's like the port section, and a weird floating thing over there. I don't know.
I wonder what that weird floating thing is. Can't ride the pig. Unplayable. Oh wow, this actually looks like a face. Look at that.
Yeah, Treasure Planet is definitely like inspiration.
Someone can't say that looks like a face and someone's handing out a piece of... Look, he's a guy handing out a lollipop.
Oh, I can see it. That's creepy.
That is creepy.
He has the mouse.
I cannot unsee it now.
All right, let's move on.
Oh, I think there's another picture.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah. So we've got some more like random sketches from Infinity.
There we got some props.
Cool.
Yeah,
props.
So this stuff will get turned
so
into
beautiful.
assets that we use in making the maps. Here's another pretty airship.
Yeah.
And then here are some more pretty airships.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, just like so much exploration with this. Kezi did a really good job.
So on to
Ben's
the-
Mirage, you asked if there will be guardians in this game. We are planning on a like giant monster type main game mode. We're like well aware of the technical debt that built up around Gigantic's Guardians. So we're working on a game mode that both functions more consistently and also doesn't land us in the same pile of technical debt. Let's see, mantling. That is a phrase that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah. Anyway, these are new things that
Yep.
you know are familiar
we
and
can't
gigantic.
say anything about the main game mode right now.
Yep.
That's all I
Main
can say
game
about
mode
it.
is going to be a reveal that is still yet to come.
Yeah.
So yeah, here's some more like here are the some concept sketches for the power-ups that drop around the map in the TDM mode.
There's Fancy's head as an orb.
One of them is my face. I have strange feels about that.
There it is.
And some effects of how we want it to show up on the map.
Yep. So that's not an in-game visual, but it is a like representation of what that's going to look like.
Yes, Reza, we are going to do that. We're going to have alternate UIs. We're working towards doing that. Like,
Well, we actually have it technically in game
works,
right now.
But yeah, we have to fix the visual a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, so what are we on to
Yes.
next? Roadmap?
Hang on.
Do you have time to do anything?
I got a little more time, yeah. So yeah, let's pull up the roadmap.
Okay.
So people have been asking us, like, what is our alpha going to look like? And in a nutshell, this is what we're working on. I'm going to full screen so I can see it. So these are so in our like back end, we want to have our auto updating launcher, which works on Mac but not Windows yet. Our developer, who is like slated to that, works primarily off of a Mac, so we get that working first because that's how it goes. We want persistent stats tracking for like player progress, so that we can tie in things like achievements and unlocks and like your stats as you've progressed through the game, and like see if you played better or worse, just all the stuff that comes with having persistent records. We think that is super fun and interesting, and it opens up a lot of doors for analytics, which are really important. And then we're working on a lot of quality of life updates for our developers, which don't make much of a difference as far as gameplay is concerned, outside of keeping our like connection and computer spec requirements as low as possible, which we're doing a pretty good job of right now. And then every time we find another way to optimize, we do it so that we never run into the 4 gigs of RAM problem that Gigantic had, or 8 gigs of RAM problem that Gigantic had. So in our alpha, we will have our main game mode, the first map of it, probably in Deadfin Gorge. We'll see how the asset production goes. We will have our second TDM map, which will be on that Infinity map set that you saw. And we're going to have a ping system because we think that those are really important. And a big part of playing the game is communicating with your teammates. And it's going to be hard to balance gameplay until we have a picture of what coordinated gameplay looks like.
Mr. White, soon.
Very soon. We're going to have a big reveal for that in itself. So there's a lot. There's a lot coming down the pipe.
We are very close. We are very, very close. The copyright filing did not quite make it through for this stream, but I would be very surprised if it wasn't done for the next one. Let's see. So yeah, we're working on Geist as our next character. The next character after that will be Notch, which is an assassin that I think we're going to talk about a lot more in the future.
In the coming month or so.
Yeah, I might even make an off-stream post about it when we get some art up. Yeah, I think I might do a kit reveal in June, so we'll have some big news.
In between stream times.
Yeah, something to tide you over. Sorry, Kitty Bob.
Incoming riot.
I'm right there with you. I want to talk about it too. Notch is the first character that I made that made it into the game, so that's kind of exciting for me personally. Yes. The kit has been revealed to the patrons. And speaking of the patrons, wonderful, wonderful people like Zaglamesh there in chat, we are about halfway through a Patreon community design. The character Notch is designed, and the mechanics are yet to be implemented. So we're working on a community design character that we get together and we vote on directions that we want to take the design, and then we progress along through that. So we've developed a caster that is going to be part of the Melanarch faction. That we've got a ballpark of the kinds of stuff that their abilities are going to do, and it's going well enough that I've decided to definitely put it in the game. Fingers crossed that I don't regret saying the things like definitely. So that will be the 6th character that goes into the game. And then when we have 6 characters, it means that our teams can be varied and unique. So we can have like 5, like, so we'll have, teams won't be mirror matches in 5 versus 5.
2 questions. What faction is Notch? And second one is tease the community design character in 1 word.
Okay. Notch is in the Ulm faction, and I'll give you one more. They are an assassin. And teasing the character design, their community character design in 1 word, oppressive. I'm going to go with oppressive. Seems to be the theme that I'm getting.
Ooh, sounds cool.
Yeah.
Great.
So the other things that we're working on making sure in the game before we can call ourselves an alpha are healing and armor summons as like baseline different stuff that summons can do, and an interrupt function in our universal abilities, which we're calling the runes. Because interrupting is already a pretty important part of gameplay, just with the testing system that we have in place. So we have power-ups that you stand on and collect in the same way that you stand on a capture point and summon your capture thingy. And interrupting is really important.
No time frames available. It's really hard to say time frames,
like,
Mr. White.
Yeah, so it's hard for us to make. I like to underpromise and overdeliver in general. The earliest that I could imagine possibly everything going right and us doing everything perfectly on our first try, which is not the kind of thing that I like to promise, is late summer, early fall for the alpha. But this is not a guarantee. This is a ballpark.
Yeah, hard to give dates.
Ulm characters have been described as giving options to other players. How can that work on an assassin? You'll have to wait for the reveal. All right.
Gameplay.
Die One Day, I like that question. I think that representation is important in games. I don't have any plans for an LGBT character. I feel like that's the kind of thing that should be part of a character's story and not developed as a, like, take a diversity box. But I think that representation for people who are playing games is super important. So
yeah,
it's
gonna
no
happen.
active plans, but we are definitely not planning to not do it. If that's an answer that you are satisfied by.
Oh,
and
Trying to
so
do a game here.
yeah. We'll jump into queue. I don't know if the testers are all set up. They might have been doing games while we've been doing this, so.
I should launch
see.
then. Okay. Extract here.
yeah.
Let's see.
Brad Necco. Yeah, I think he has. a
So
plan for
you know
that.
what? We do have some plans for funding. Our next step is to work on development grants, because there's nobody better than free money. And a lot of the other game devs that we've talked to have said that we are already doing amazing work for the amount of time and resources that we've been able to put into this. And they think that we are, like, our friends in the industry say that we are very, very well in place for getting dev grants. So that's our next step. And then the hope is that the accelerated development that grants give us can give us access to A, the resources to develop more quickly, and B, the continued growth will turn into a bigger community that will actually be, they'll be present enough to support a large-scale fundraiser like a Kickstarter or a Fig or an Indiegogo. So
hey,
we're
by
doing
the
it in
way-
stages.
By the way, look, there's some new stuff on the in-game
yeah.
Hero Select.
So this is the new Hero Select screen.
Still not done.
For those of you-
Still working on it.
Yeah, still a lot of work left to go, but this is about showing progress, not finished products, because this is a progress. So yeah, finished thing. We've got overviews of the characters, which is really neat, and you can check out the abilities. And then here we are in game. There's our 4 with the old animation system and like 4 or 5 animations available.
It's a little janky.
It looks pretty silly.
Come here.
Yes, we're still working on that.
Wait,
But-
look at me run.
Oh, so
Oh,
this
geez.
is so R4 is using the old animation system, and the quick draw box model, box friend I call them, is using the new animation system that we've designed that allows us to, oh good, it's my face. It allows a fancy animation technique called blends. So if you watch this character running, they like do this fancy lean when they turn. That
Yeah,
took
it's
it
still,
took a fair while.
It's still being worked on.
It doesn't look like much, but the fact that it looks smooth is when they're transitioning between some of these animations is representative of a lot of work. And so while the animations are still like early placeholder, the drawing a blank on the words that I need all of a sudden. The system that ties them all together is pretty sophisticated. It was, I think, modeled in part after the like Paragon character. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Tren. The Paragon like character animation flowchart. So there's a lot of.
No, we used a
No?
custom one from the start.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so our animator and our programmers work together to build a really sophisticated
Had to do something.
shell for all of our animations to live inside, and that shell allows us to do things like leaning runs, transitioning between different animations smoothly so it doesn't look glitchy when you like do animation cancels. Things like the landing animation when you jump is another piece that really helps smooth out the visual effects of gameplay. Because the movement is the same, whether or not it looks like you have that little stutter when you land, but the gameplay feel when you actually have those little micro animations transitioning between every action is what makes the gameplay feel smooth. So now we have the framework for all of those animations to go into the game, which, like, again, is not a hugely, like, it's not super visually apparent as much as animations themselves would be, but it is the underlying architecture that will make all of our animations look smooth and clean in the future when we have them. So I'm really excited about that. It's hard to talk about in concrete terms because it's mostly in the back end. Yes, we are planning on implementing a ping system. It is on it's on our roadmap. It is definitely going to be a part of the alpha. We are planning on.
If you guys haven't noticed.
Oh yeah, mini map.
Oh yeah, check that out. We've got a mini map. It's
A new pause
really
screen.
exciting to have that. It's so helpful. Yeah, this pause screen is new. That's really cute. Let's see what else. I'm just like having fun watching our game. I went on a camping trip recently, and I haven't actually had a chance to play in a while, so I'm just kind of stoked on it.
Be able to kill him. Oh, Falco, you ate my ultimate.
What? How?
Yeah. You you walked right into that.
All right. I
Oh,
think
sorry.
while we're going through the gameplay,
And
'cause I'm
nothing's
not in this
balanced
game.
right now, by the way.
Yeah, we are
Um,
100% not worried about balance until we reach our alpha stage. We are purely testing functions right now.
Because R4 will kill anything and everything. Hey, Frozen. There we go.
As he should. He should kill everything all the time. Come on.
Yes, he is the bunny god. Okay, so I'm going to try and pull another question
So good.
out
Invisible
of
Mine. Gotta
the
love
chat.
those.
Let's see. Here's a good one. What are the game dev skills that would be the most valued additions to your team? We would love more animators. Animation is a whole lot of work. It is perhaps the single biggest step time-wise between the initial concept of a character and the finished version is the number of hours of effort that goes into animating a fully modeled and rigged character.
Yeah, our animators that we got currently are awesome. It's just
Yeah, our animators are fantastic and very part-time because they have full-time jobs and school, and they are limited not in their ability to do the work, but their ability to commit time to the project. So, yeah, more animators would help us a lot. We did just pick up a rigger, which is fantastic. That is a very new, exciting addition to the team. Somebody who is fully dedicated to rigging our models, which will save a lot of time in the handoff between 3D modeling and animation, because then our 3D modeler can do more 3D modeling and our animators can do more animating, and the rigging will be left to the rigger, which is how it should go. So everything that we've done so far has been without the benefits of a full-time rigger. Well, a fully dedicated rigger, that is. And we're really excited for what he's going to bring to the team. Let's see. How do we plan to give the game an identity? We got that one. Have we been implementing any community suggested ideas? We have been taking some of the feedback that we've received on Quick Draw's kit as it exists, and as you can see, we haven't changed any of her abilities in game yet, but we're doing a lot of theory crafting around that as plans for the alpha. That is a conversation that we will have to have with Gokin, as he is the primary person behind managing character design and balance. Yeah, we spend a lot of time reading ideas that you guys have. The Patreon designed character is going to be one that gets implemented, but I can't really say that we are implementing them yet because they're not in the game, and that's that. Will there be any microtransactions or any form of payments, Kickstarter or solely Patreon? I'm cautiously optimistic about the potential of this donation-based, anyone who wants to contribute to its development can free-to-play model. I think that whoever that was in the chat earlier is spot on, that Patreon is a little bit hard to get visibility on compared to more established platforms. But it's been covering our costs so far, and I would be happy keeping it there for as long as it keeps the game running. But we do have plans for a larger campaign to really get the game out the door when it's ready, probably in our transition from alpha to beta, or maybe from beta to release, depending on how big our dev grants are, and of course the dev grants. And when it's out there, I think that we have plans for monetization. We don't have any concrete plans yet. We're kind of looking at what a bunch of different games are doing and trying to figure out how to do how to do something that feels right to us. We want to set up a system where people don't feel like they have to pay in order to have fun. Battle passes, I think, go too far in paywalling access to the game, and I think that the just buy cosmetics model that Gigantic had doesn't do enough to give people incentive to throw money into the ecosystem. Because these things do cost money to make, they cost money to maintain. I also have the Founders Pack. I bought one for my wife. I bought one for every friend that promised to play for me, because I wanted to see that game get off the ground. And even though everything that I put that money into is gone, I still feel like I did a good job supporting art. So I got those feels too, Mr. White. We are planning on putting a merch store up. We keep slow rolling it because every time we're about to do it, we find more cool stuff that we want to put out there. So
and the art team's
we'll get
kind
to
of
it.
small.
Yeah,
so it's like,
team's small,
hey,
and like the
it's
time that I
important.
put into putting a merch store together is time that I don't spend on writing lore or working on character refinement or like strategizing for our next stream. You know, it's all just kind of time. And also, like, we love so much the resources that our patrons are giving us. It's giving us so many opportunities to thank you, each and every one of you patrons. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But we're not focusing on trying to make money. We're trying to focus on getting this game made, and
Getting it to you guys.
we're gonna getting it out there and available. And when we hit more of a bottleneck where our resources are concerned, you're gonna see a bigger shift to working on our income. But in the meantime, it's just not the big priority. Like, what we have is enough to keep us going, and that's astounding. Like, it usually any new business takes more than a year to get to that point, and we're already there. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing that we get to do this. Like, thank you all so much. Even those of you that like can't or for some reason don't contribute to the Patreon, like, we're so blessed to have all of you here and interested in our work. This is what keeps us going. Like, we would still be making this game if nobody cared about it, nobody was interested, but this makes it way more fun and lights a fire in our bellies every day when we wake up. So I want to say thank you all for that. Even though I'm going to push it and say another 15 minutes.
Are you sure?
Well, you can answer some last questions. We did the one game that we're going to do.
Okay, yeah. So that's what gameplay looks
allowed
like.
to play as many as they want right now. We're giving them the night.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that everyone who hasn't seen the game yet has an opportunity to see what it looks like. It's not like on the screen. It's not much different from where it was last stream. So we're not going to put a bunch of time into games, but we want to make sure that those of you who haven't seen it can see it, and those of you that saw it last month, saw it 2 months ago, get to see a couple of those cool upgrades, like the mini map and the new UI. We're gonna have character lore pages probably in the next one, so that's exciting. I think that what I'm gonna do is do character description releases on our off cycle, so there's more interesting content for you to absorb in between streams rather than like read character lore from a page in the middle of a stream. That's just not the most exciting thing that I could do. So if you guys caught any cool questions,
yeah, we can.
Okay, speaking of your fancy animation system, it doesn't seem like there's a reaction for being hit or any knockbacks. What are the plans for that? Well, those animations have to get made by hand, like animations generally do. And when they get made, they're going to get put in. So the big fancy animation system, a lot of it was like putting places in the animation flowchart for things like get hit animations to happen, and develop the rules for how get hit animations interact with animations like walking or sprinting or jumping or doing the specific motions of your abilities, so that all of that ties together smoothly. So we have the system for those to go into, and that was a lot of our animation resources for the sprint between the last stream and this stream. And now that the system's in there, we have places for those to get slotted in. Those are like much more finer detail animations than run, walk, jump, dodge, your abilities. So I would imagine that we're going to get the rough plan is to get our 6 characters in and have their basic animations developed, and then go back through and start doing all the fine detail animations to really make all of our characters look as polished as the gameplay wants them to be. Oh, there I go. There goes my face.
He has become Discord.
Which of our artists did quick draw art? That was Tart. Tart did quick draw. We had So one of the experiments that we did with Quick Draw as our second character was to have all of the artists throw concepts in, and so some of the early concept art came from all of our different artists, I think except Keji, who we dropped right onto Fan as soon as he joined the team. But Tart, once the Ash debacle happened in October, November, Tart got handed off. Aw. Well, I just got the okay to take a little extra time on this stream, so I think maybe we can go to 6:30.
We did have another question. With the firing product, what kind of cell shading are we looking for? From Mr. White. Mr. White.
Yeah,
with the
so like,
questions.
I like cell shading as an aesthetic. I think that it adds. I think that the cell shaded cartoony aesthetic is a lot more timeless than photorealism. Like, if you go back and you look at like two comparable games from their day, like the original Splinter Cell versus Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda still looks good. Splinter Cell looks a little clunky by comparison. We will be uploading the VODs. It'll be on YouTube.
Yeah, don't break
and
your.
you can catch it here.
Don't break
Can
your
I add
data,
on
Brad
to that art?
Yep. And
Conversation?
Failco is the art director, so I'm going to hand it off to her because she can speak more intelligently about it than I can.
Well, I think Fancy really kind of wrapped it up really nicely. But basically, what you saw there for how R4 his model looks, that's kind of the look we're doing for the characters. The environment's gonna look slightly different, but a lot of influences are definitely like Breath of the Wild's a huge influence. So you'll probably see how it all looks like as one cohesive thing next stream, I'm gonna say. Hopefully that's hoping we're gonna have DFG done by then too, so you'll get like the full package, see exactly what the art is. And then for the UI, we're going with this, I mean, obviously it's kind of this dark, minimalistic UI that I think really speaks to our game. So cool.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Like, Gigantic's art style and character design is what got a lot of us into this, and we all came together as people who loved Gigantic, and when it looked like Gigantic was never going to come back, we said, well, time to make our own game. So we're really trying to carry on a lot of the legacy that we felt made Gigantic so amazing as a game, as a piece of art.
2 months from now.
Yep. So we do these every 2 months. It'll be sometime mid to late July. Don't have a date yet because this requires a lot of scheduling, and that's just how it works.
Yeah, we did. We did get asked if we would do monthly updates or when we plan to.
Okay. Well, I plan to have some character a character.
Or did you?
There will be. I will have some reading content as an update out next month. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but that's going to be some of the excitement of seeing it. It'll be like lore and or character related. I got to talk to my team about what we're building for in the July stream so I can have a cohesive narrative of the reveals, but there will be something next month for you all to enjoy.
Unless, did you mean that you wanted to see monthly streams? Was that more
this is a lot of
question?
work. And I'm not going to do a monthly stream until I'm...
No.
No.
We can't do that right
No.
now. We just don't
any
have
thoughts
enough.
on a Reddit? Yes, we are going to have a Reddit, and it is going to be under our game name, which is still under copyright review, so we're not talking about it yet. But we will have a Reddit. No reason not to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, actually, having been on other video game Reddits, there's plenty of reasons not to. But we love our community, and you guys are great, so I think that you guys will make for a cool Reddit as opposed to a troublesome Reddit. So, putting my faith in you, community. Y'all haven't let me down so far. Community events?
Yes.
Yeah. I love community events. I would love to get to the point where we can do like
Guild versus
community
guild.
event, like faction versus faction type stuff, or like temporary community game modes where people can play the game in a different type of environment. Maybe like some sort of progressive PvE style. It would be fun. It would take a lot of work to develop, but we would like to get there.
How
Is the
about
answer?
some ice dragons?
You know, like there's this thing about putting an ice dragon character in the game, and people keep asking me, like, especially among the patrons, like, there's this constant, when are you doing an ice dragon? When are you doing an ice dragon? And like, there's this avenue for you to say, we are going to make an ice dragon character in this game, and there will be nothing I can do about it, and that's through the design contest. Like, you can do that, Zay. Just start every vote you make it be towards an ice dragon, and it will happen.
Every time you ask, it gets pushed back more. By 1 year, yeah. So every time you guys asked, development of that gets pushed back by a year.
Oh, I see. I haven't actually posted the "Do you want this to be an Ice Dragon Samurai Yes No" poll yet, and when I do, it will be flooded with yeses, I think is what I'm being told. Let's see. How many heroes are being worked on? We're working on Geist and then Notch. So that's the answer to that. This is a big pile of questions. How will the stamina system work compared to the one Gigantic had? How will the super abilities affect this? How much stamina will be regained over time with skills? Will the stamina regen lead to infinite movement if regenerated continuously, or will it be very gradual and less movement spam like Gigantic was? This is half of the question. Stamina system is going to be very similar. There's like room for us to mess with it a little bit. We're open to the idea of, we do have the like stamina regen rune as one of our like placeholder functions, and so far it's kind of interesting, like being able to get more stamina at the press of a button in exchange for a valuable cooldown. So there's precedent for us like having the ability to interact with stamina as like characters can gain stamina as a buff, you know, reduce target enemies' stamina, debuff type things. It's like the core system of the game, in my opinion. That's why our name is that my left hand or right hand. Either way, up there. That's why the name is what it is. So we're going to be really cautious about how we mess with it, but we do like the idea of expanding the system just a little bit. Approximate size of roster at launch. Well, at alpha launch, it'll be 6. At beta, I would like to make it. I would like to make it up to 12 characters through the alpha, and I don't know, maybe 18 at launch would be cool.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yep.
Also, Notch is going to be worked on by Jacob, so I don't know if you've ever seen Jacob's stuff, but Jacob TM, he's awesome.
Yep. He did the fan animation, and he's done some really cool. He's done our emotes, so if you like the emotes, look forward to more of his art. Forever and ever, and won't break our hearts like Gigantic. I mean, we're in this wonderful position of not having any like publisher deadlines or requirements over our heads, and because we're all working on this as a hobby, like we can keep going for a long time. And honestly, as long as the game's income can keep the servers afloat and allow us to develop, we're going to keep making it. I can't promise that anything is going to be around forever, because that's a pie crust promise, and Mary Poppins said all that needs to be said about that. But we're going to do everything we can to keep this game rolling, because we love it, and we love what working on it has done for us and to help grow this community, and we love you guys. So all the work that we can do on it to keep it going is what we plan on doing. And nothing has shown us any sign that we're going to have to stop yet. Very specifically, we do not have any plans for stamina degen as a designer or mechanic, but we do know that it is possible if it's design space that we want to tap into. Well, I think that we can make it more than a year, provided we don't sign any like guillotine over our head contracts with publishers, and right now we don't have to. So we're going to avoid doing that. And if that means that we develop slower, but the development is more secure over time, then that'll be what we do. Maps planned for release, we don't have plans for that. Release is so far away. We're really focusing on making it to alpha right now and getting all of our systems that will allow us to accelerate our development throughout alpha in place. And that's the plan. Open alpha, or riot, I'm assuming is going to be the next post there. That's one of those, like, one of our like goals with the alpha is to figure out exactly how much it costs to run a game and to keep our servers on all the time, because that's like what the game needs in order to be survivable long term. And because like we're all like, as developers, we're all doing this for free because we love it and we want to see this game get made. And if it ever started making enough money that we could pay everyone to work on it full time, that would be amazing. But like, indie games are a tough market, and what we're trying to do is make a game. And if it turns into jobs, that's cool. But what the game has to do is sustain itself. And our goal for alpha is to figure out what exactly that takes before we bite off too much bite off more that we can chew, like production resources wise. And I absolutely hear you on that. Like, a big part of that is large scale stress testing on our servers. And like, when that happens and we have clear pictures of what it's going to take to make this game run, we will certainly give you that information, because that's kind of crucial to everybody involved. Let's see. Second half of that question. Will there be a cripple system? Are there any planned dates for alpha or beta testing weeks and weekends for members of the community who are not currently playtesting to join in? Really love what you're doing with the game. Thanks for reading. We are planning to have jump attacks to the back do a slow, and we are planning to have a can't jump debuff. Whether or not those are tied together sort of depends on how the balance shakes out. I think that giving melee characters a way to lock down ranged characters is a really important part of the like ranged versus melee balance dynamic. And I think that like locking down jumps is a cool way to keep that under control. Plan dates for alpha beta testing, not yet. Stress testing is going to be a part of that, so that's going to involve, yes, we are reading the Google questions. Stress testing is going to involve getting a ton of people in there, and we'll see what that looks like when we get there. We plan to do it. We don't have planned dates. Let's see. When will you add more testers? We will let you know as soon as the gates open. We don't have plans yet. Right now, testing is basically whenever we have a new build that needs to get checked out, we grab a handful of people, and our testing needs just aren't there yet. But when we need to start stress testing, we were going to have to bring in a lot more people. Otherwise, we won't know how well our servers hold up. So when designing characters, champions, heroes, do you use archetypes such as tank, assassin, marksman, mage, healer, support, etc., or even fusions, hybridizations? So what we go for is characters have core functions and then access to additional functions in their kit, and then also through their upgrades. And what we like to do is have a very clear path that the character will have access to in a lot of ways. Quick Draw, for example, has access to a lot of damage in her kit, and additionally has access to like more synergistic options like a super jump and more controlling options like the space control that she gets off of her mines. And we want characters to either be able to easily specialize into their core archetype or specialize at the expense of their core archetype into other functions, so that if you get countered, say somebody picks a character that's very good against the core damage functions of your damage character, you don't get turned off as a character. Like, hard counters are no fun, especially when you don't have character switching, which we don't plan on doing. Then you have the flexibility to take your character in a different direction, so that you can like have flex picks in your drafts if we get enough characters to get to a point where drafting is a thing, and you can specialize your character into filling roles that your team needs, in case your team, like if your team picks 4 core damage characters, then like 2 of those core damage characters might be able to specialize into being tankier, and another one of those characters might specialize into being more supporty. And sorry, Zay, the one thing that Quick Draw doesn't have access to is being tanky. So that's the other thing, is we try to design with our characters at their core stuff that they don't have access to, which keeps us out of the realm of overpowered does everything characters. Feel free to try and break it with runes and stuff. I would love to see it when they exist. Let's see what else we got time for a couple more. Was there
Let's ask
any
some questions in game inside the chat?
Yeah. Okay. Do we have IT? Oh, where did that go? Come back here, chat. It's a really good question about like IT networking infrastructure that I liked, because I'm really proud of what we've done there. Where did it go? Where did it go? Anybody? Anybody? Oh, there it is. Infrastructure, networking, cloud guys. So the first thing that we worked on was developing our net play environment, because if we can't get that functioning smoothly, then we don't have a game. So we built a system that we're pretty proud of, and then one of the programmers that joined our team, Trex, is a very brilliant web developer, among other things, who has now built up a fairly decent pile of game dev experience with us, and he's done a lot to streamline the systems that we already had. And yeah, does that answer your question? Like, we have a guy who's really good at networking and like like over the internet communication functions.
And we're always looking for more talent that wants to help. We have the applications on the Discord if you guys wanted to check them out.
Yep. And if you ever feel like there's a specific skill that you have or that a friend of yours has that isn't covered by the applications that are on the Discord, then just shoot us a DM. Let us know that you have a very specific skill that you don't think is covered, and we can talk about it, because like the community is small enough that I'm not bombarded by DMs every day, so I have the opportunity to talk to you all one-on-one if you want to, and I really love it. So I'm hoping that we grow to the point where that's not a feasible option anymore, and there's like tens of thousands of people that want to talk to me, and I have to not do that. But that would be amazing in its own right. And in the meantime, I'm really happy that we have this small community that we can all talk to each other about. Yeah, if that's something that you want to talk about more, shoot me a DM or fill out the like programmer application map, Mr. White. I don't think everybody's going to be interested in like the nuances of server hosting, so we can take that conversation offline. Love to talk more about it. Maybe a post on the Patreon that'll serve as a summary on the stream and feature the art shown off. Yes, I will make a public post that will go out to everybody, so that anyone who missed this has a lot of avenues to go see it. Good question.
And the alpha roadmap probably too.
Yeah.
So you guys can see it.
You know what? That'll probably be the cover image, or maybe it'll be a link to the YouTube video. I don't know yet, but there will be a post. Should you apply? Yes, and then just add in the application when your availability is, so we can plan around it. Let's see. More questions from you guys.
Well, we're coming on 2 hours now, so
Oh, geez. Yeah. Didn't even get into the game lore stuff that I've been writing.
Do you want to give
That's-
them a short summary, or is that hard to do right now?
I've been working on my elevator pitch. Let's see if I can land it. So we designed the lore of the game to, first and foremost, be built around the gameplay. So we designed it to push the concept of 5 versus 5 combat in objective-based arenas. And then we designed a game world around making that concept important. So the way that the game works is that these combatants, while they aren't the leaders of the factions, are very highly respected and powerful members of the factions based on nope, this is too hard to do in 30 seconds. We did a huge lore post on the Patreon. Everything that we put on Patreon does eventually become public. So if you're really tight on money, or if you don't trust Patreon as a platform or whatever, totally fine. It will come out eventually. And if you just can't wait and you want to see it right now, it's on there. I think the June post will have a lot of lore stuff in it. And it's just so hard to talk about the lore. So here's the tiny piece. Our game lore ties the core magic system, which we've developed to be pretty cohesive in terms of how the entire world works. It's got a set of structured rules tied to the core lore, or the core magic system, and the name of the combat in the gameplay is the name of the game, which is completely untouched SEO, which is something that we knew from the beginning was going to be an important piece of this entire process. So when the game name comes out, you will understand how it all gets tied together and why we have been so protective of our IP. And until... would there be room for writers on the team? Yes, absolutely. We had a absolutely fantastic writing contributor for several months. She got her master's in creative writing. That's definitely my time to go sound. Yep. She helped us build some of the most fundamental pieces of our lore, and I don't think that our game... I'm very proud and happy with how our world lore has sort of developed, as with push the gameplay as the most important thing in the world as the core concept. And our lead writer for the time that she was on the team, she has since moved on to pursue her other personal projects, was absolutely instrumental in getting us to where we are. SEO, Turtle Duck Man, is search engine optimization. And it was one of the big troubles that Gigantic had, was when you search for Gigantic, you got the word definition on Merriam-Webster, and you got the canceled Disney project, and you got I don't know, some other stuff. Other things that weren't the game. And so when you searched for it and you didn't see it, you didn't click on it, and you didn't check out the game, you didn't check out the art, you didn't download it. And it was just one of the many things that was like a stumbling block in their development. And from the beginning, we knew that was a problem that we would have to circumvent. And so a big part of writing the game's lore was finding a name for the game that both delivered the feel of the gameplay and also was was untouched search engine space for, and this was really, for me anyway, it's really exciting. But for a lot of people, I'm sure it's just kind of obnoxious, heady business development stuff. So I'm going to stop. But yeah.
Yeah. Let's...
Are we taking? So if you're participating in the Discord, Mogaroth, we do pay attention to the community developed ideas a lot. They have like some of the stuff in there has inspired me to look at specific designs, and yeah, we're always looking for stuff. And I think that as soon as we finish up the current Patreon character design project, we're going to launch another one because it's been really fun so far. And like I've learned a lot both about how this like how to interact with the community and how the design process can be broken down like in such a granular step-by-step thing that I'm really excited to start all over again and do it more. I want to, as we continue to grow, I would like to open up that process to the community at large. The patron community is kind of like the test bed for a lot of stuff like that. Just because we gotta get like they're giving us money, we gotta give them something cool, right? And that's kind of what we landed on. And as we grow and as we have more stuff to give to the patrons, I want to keep giving stuff that we've been giving to the patrons to the entire community so that everybody feels like they're a part of this, even if they're not a part of the Giving Us Money Club. Because like we appreciate them and we appreciate all of you. And I think one of the biggest personal challenges for me in developing this is trying to find the balance between making sure our patrons feel valued and appreciated and maintaining the connection with the community at large, because all of you are the people that are keeping this project going, like not just the ones giving us dollars. And yeah, so that'll happen in the future. People are telling me to wrap up now, so I like every time I start talking about the patrons, I'm just like overcome with gratitude, and I'm so happy for all of you here making this thing possible and fun and interesting and sharing your ideas and inspiration. So oh, you're the best, but I should come get you. Because now I'm just rambling about how much I love this community, which I could do all day, but I'm running out of content, and it's time for me to wrap this up. So,
I can't wait for next stream.
Next stream is going to be awesome. Next month, I think we're going to do a deeper dive into the lore when our copyright is finally wrapped up. And until next stream, thank you all so much for being here.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
You're
guys.
the best.